Let me start by saying two things. Number one, there are, in fact, movies that are more goofy than Twilight. Number two, believe it or not, this movie is so goofy that it actually just. I think that it's proof of God. I think that unless God exists, then this movie simply shouldn't have existed. Let's start with the. Let's just start at the beginning, alright? We have this woman. She's driving down the road. She's got like an AMV, like an MTV style AMV over like classical music going over her. And she pulls up to what is presumed to be like a boarding school. I thought it was an orphanage, maybe. But as it turns out, her name's Lucinda. Which, I mean, if my kid was named Lucinda, I would disown her. So it's probably an orphanage, let's be realistic. She goes by Luce. Just speaking in hypothetical, of course. I feel like if I were a woman and everyone called me Luce, I might take issue to that. But no matter. So she's at this boarding school now. Her parents have deserted her. We never see them again. We never hear a word about them again. I'm not sure they were real. They might have been a hallucination. And she gets her bag and shit. It's all taken away, and she's just like, you get 10 minutes of phone privileges a week. Come hell or high water. I don't care if you have to call the ambulance and a kid dies because you couldn't call the ambulance because you couldn't use 10 minutes of phone time. Yeah, it's all you get. And as she does this, a cop walks past because that, why not? And like this dude that looks like greasier than, like if you dumped me in a vat of pure bacon grease, I think I would slide around on the floor less than this motherfucker. And he as he walks past, he gives her this look like the smolder. I don't even know how like this. But he does, like, he walks past and he grabs this sucker out of a bowl. And he looks her in the eye and he does like this. I'm going to try to replicate this. Like this. And it's like, oh, well, that guy's a weirdo. You should stay away from him. So after that whole interaction with Cam, who we find out later that's what his name is, we meet, I don't remember her name and I don't care to, but basically she's like, the principal's like, hey, show her around the school. And she's like, who, me? And she's like, yeah, sure. And she shows her around the school and she's like, this is the dorms, this is the classrooms. And up there, floor 3, that's where they keep the crazies. That's where they lock them away. And like, first of all, let's just assume that is what they do. They don't lock them. The doors, like Luce just fucking walks upstairs and it's like, well, this is my home. This is just, apparently Luce is a psychotic. She has hallucinations. We'll get into that later. But she just walks upstairs. There's no, like, security or, like, anything to stop her. Like, 5 minutes later or something, I don't know, the time scale in this movie is awful. She's walking down a hallway and, like, this goth chick comes and assaults her, I guess. That's the only way I can describe it, is he walks up and she's like, like cat fight type shit. And she gets detention from this. And that's important later because she serves this detention. And as she's serving this detention, this statue falls on her. Like it's this entire scene, but it's done terribly. And like, it makes no sense. Like the physics behind it, and it just, like, it doesn't register at all. And also, she's got no self-preservation instinct. She stands there like she's the fucking statue. Like, she gets confused and, like, she's just mimicking it. But no, she doesn't get hit by the statue. This other dude, Daniel, comes in and saves her. And Daniel is only a little bit less greasy, but it's enough that you notice he's less greasy. And he comes in and saves her and does, like, the whole thing where she, like, grabs her and, like, yeah, and then he's, like, he just leaves. He just goes home. I'm assuming that you're gonna see this a lot. What they were trying to do is copy the scene from Twilight where Edward like saves her from a car and then just like, I hate you, and leaves. That's my assumption, but I don't really know. And another thing, I should probably mention this while I'm talking about this scene. She like, as the statue is falling and it's like, or whatever, she starts hallucinating again. Which, by the way, she's been hallucinating the entire time because that's why she got sent to the school apparently. But she sees like these black like orbs or some shit. They look like the Venom symbiote, basically, except worse. And she's like sees like flashes of a life she doesn't remember or some shit. I don't know. Listen, just go with it, okay? And she calls these hallucinations her shadows. Very creative, this woman is. Then, like, a day or two later, she's in the psychiatrist's office, right? Because the school has a psychiatrist, I assume because it's also doubles as a mental health ward. You seem like you wouldn't want to have those two, like children and, like, mental patients in a very close proximity seems a bit dangerous. But they did that. And she's, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. She's at the psychiatrist, and he's like, everyone says you're stable off your medicine. If you take your meds, then you can go home. And she's like, no, I'd rather be myself than whatever the meds make me. This scene happens like 2 or 3 times in the entirety of the movie. There's the exact same scene, and every time, he's got this, like, the little, like, miniature cup filled with pills, and he slides it towards her, and he's got a pitcher of water, and he fills the cup, and he slides it towards her. Like, you'd think, at some point, he would have the presence of mind to pre-pour the water cup, maybe? Or, like, not even bother putting the pills out because she's not gonna drink them, probably. Or swallow them, probably. But I digress. And then, through some means or another, I forget how, she ends up getting invited to this party, right? Now, you'd think that partying on a boarding school would be, like, difficult. Like, you'd have to go away or, like, sneak out somehow. No, they just leave. They just walk out. And I fucking kid you not. It's just a bonfire on school property. Just in the woods somewhere. It's just a bonfire that no one notices or talks about. During this scene, or not, after this scene, she gets, like, jumped in the woods. She's like, the goth chick shows back up. And she's like, I know what you did. I know you killed a man. And she, like, just does the cat fight shit again and just, like, shoves her around. And she starts hallucinating. She's like, ah. And then some other girl, I think it was the one that introduced her to the school or whatever, saves her. That's the second time she shows up. And I'm pretty sure that's the last time. And then, again, after that, like we don't... That's the thing about this movie. Everything there are things happening, but none of them are related. And they just kind of occur. A little bit after this, she goes into the library, and they're talking like, oh, Luce, if Luce isn't baptized, then it's a danger to us all, or I don't know, like the hand of God is gonna smite her down or some shit. After this, Daniel hears, or notices that she's hearing them. Them being the librarian, Miss Sophia, and Daniel. And Daniel is like, actually, I was writing a story about this woman and a guy, and every 17 years, they... Actually, I was writing a story about a woman and a dude, and the man is cursed so that he keeps falling in love with the same woman, but every time they kiss, the woman gets reincarnated, and the man just keeps living eternally, and it just sucks because he's cursed. And something this movie, don't worry, this story is important, it never mentions is how she dies. Like, does she just, like, she hits a kiss, like, and she just explodes on the spot? Does she, like, just Thanos, like, vaporize? Like, I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark? Does she just have a heart attack? Like, how does it work? How does she die? That's something I would genuinely love to know. Because if she, like, just blows up on the spot, I think that would be the best possible outcome, but that's just me. I'm sorry, but everything in this video, every sentence is going to start with "and then," because that's what this movie is. There's no other way to put it. It's not a series of because and then and because of and due to. It's just and then and then and then. Like, it's just events. So that's not me talking. That's the plot of the movie. Don't you fucking worry. But and then, Cam, the greaseball from earlier, who looks like Eddie from Stranger Things, except more greasy and less cool, is like, hey, you want to go to a club for your birthday? And then they go to a club for her birthday. Again, you would think it would be much more difficult for them to escape this boarding school, especially considering that she's a mental patient. But whatever. But they're at this club, and he's like, you want to kiss? And she's like, yeah. And then they kiss. And then Daniel spawns in, I guess. I don't know if they, like, had a portal in the back room waiting for him or what. But he shows up and he's like, you mother shitter, you don't kiss her. She's mine. You still work for Lucifer. Or whatever. And then she just leaves. She just goes home. Like, there's a lot of people just leaving randomly. And she goes back to her friend, Penn, who I should have mentioned before, but I don't care, and she's not that important. But she's a great friend or whatever. And she's like, hey, Penn, I think I am being reincarnated. And Penn's like, nuh-uh. Anyway, I'm going to go with my friend Todd to the library, and all three of us are going to figure out how you're being reincarnated. So they go to the library, and I shit you not, Todd's just a dude, we've never met him before. He's like, I have this super special facial recognition software, and we're gonna put Daniel's face in it and see what pops up. And they do. And lo and behold, it's a picture of Daniel and Luce from 1850 something or other. And they're both like, what? How did this happen? Penn, go grab that picture that we're printing out over there. And then Penn goes and grabs the picture. And then Luce starts hallucinating randomly. And she's like, oh no, the shadows are here. And she walks into like the main like library, like the foyer, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it. Like the atrium, I guess is a better word for it. And she's like, no. And then just a book explodes. Like there's a book out on a pedestal and it just blows up. And now there's a fire in the library. So then with this fire, everyone's like, no, fuck, get out of there. And then Luce leaves because she's a bitch, I guess. Daniel shows up and saves Penn. Todd just dies, and again, this is a dude that we have never met before right then. But then there's like this huge funeral scene, and it feels like it's supposed to hit hard, but it doesn't because we just never really met him. So I'm not sure why they went with that route, but whatever. But then after this whole reminiscence scene or whatever, where it's like, it's very obviously like the scene from Twilight, where like it's Bella looking out the window, like through like for like 8 months she sat there like she was in a sarcophagus or something. But then like after this, however long it's been, she finds Luce finds Daniel on the roof, because that's just the thing that happens a lot apparently. I don't know, he's just up there. And she's like, I know, I'm the girl from the story. And he's like, yep. And then they confess feelings for each other or whatever. And this movie commits the same sin as Twilight, where it feels like this is just like glorifying abusive relationships, essentially. But it's like this entire thing where like there's no romantic connection between them. They just know each other and they're like, I love you now. I love you too. Okay, cool, let's move on. So then, as they go to kiss, Cam spawns in, and he's like, no, if you kiss her, she'll die for real this time, because she's not baptized. And mind you, we've had no exposition on why that's the case or anything. I don't know if it's like, baptism acts like shield charge in like Apex, where you get an extra knockdown shield for her soul, or like maybe it's like a Titan eject in Titanfall. I don't know why the baptism is the seal that, the nail in the coffin or whatever. But they kiss, and she doesn't blow up. And Cam's like, no, now Lucifer's gonna come for her. It's all over. Ah. And Daniel's like, no, it's different this time. It doesn't explain how or anything. He just says, yeah, it's different. Why? I said so. My source is myself. I had it in a dream once. It must be true. And then they're like, it's telegraphed. They're gonna fight, or Cam and Daniel are gonna fight or whatever. So Daniel like takes Luce down to Miss Sophia, who's on the ground for some reason, just waiting for them so that she can keep Luce safe or whatever. And he's like, keep her safe. And then they go fight. And mind you, this fight scene is not good. Like, it's fine, but it's not, like, it's angels fighting, right? You'd expect, like, the hand of God or, like, holy hellfire or, like, I don't know, like a spaceship comes down or like the sun explodes or I don't know, maybe like we see the Watcher's asshole from above or something. But no, it's just like they sprout wings and they fist fight and it's really underwhelming. But as this is happening, Luz and Miss Sophia are like standing like below a skylight and Penn walks in and she's like, she doesn't really do anything. She's like, hey guys, what's up? And Miss Sophia just kills her on the spot, like just like knife to the throat. Dunzo, get the fuck out of here. And Luz screams, like I don't know if she's an air raid siren or what, but Daniel just hears her. Maybe it's just like God hearing or whatever. And Daniel hears her, and he like smashes through the fucking skylight or whatever to keep her safe. And then Miss Sophia's like, actually it was me who caused the murder of that kid that we never really talked about that Luz was blamed for murdering earlier. You're getting the same amount of exposition I did. But she reveals that it was her all along, and she was the one who caused this entire thing. And she thought that because Luz is gonna die forever, then Daniel will have no choice but to go back to heaven, where he belongs. And then, I shit you not, right hand on the Bible, may God strike me down if I'm lying, Miss Sophia just goes home. She just vanishes. She just like gets like she does like a teleportation thing from Harry Potter where it's like the shadow fucking smoke shit that they disappear into and fly off. She does that. And she just doesn't come back. And it's just not mentioned again. Like why? Why did she like did the whole villain thing where she's like, this is my evil plan. And then she just leaves? She just goes home? She's like, well, rats. And then Daniel is like, she's right, you know. Lucifer will come for you. I have to keep you safe. And then you see, like, it looks like the Bifrost from the Marvel movies when, like, Thor gets picked up and it's like this beam of light that they get pulled into and teleported off. And it looks like that. And then that's the end of the movie. Like, I'm trimming a lot of the fat for you. Like, there's so much nothing burger in this fucking Big Mac that it may as well just be, like, an air-stuffed Oreo. Like, there's a lot happening here that has nothing to do with anything at all. But it doesn't even have the common decency, the respect. Like, I feel disrespected by this. To give an ending. Like, there is no ending. Like, there's no... Like, I feel like they wanted to make a second one, but they just didn't because this one sucked so much. Like this is an insult to God itself if they make a second one. Like, Fallen 2, and the fucking, like, entire building there in the studio just blows up. Like, that's what it feels like. Because it doesn't even give half an ending. That's really about it. I just wanted to share this because I found it a truly fascinating experience. And I just thought that maybe you guys wanted to hear about it.